Hi, here's another video. I'm going to be having a look at this Sur-Ron today. I'm going to be showing you how to turn a worn out Sur-Ron like this to look like this, as you can see here. So let me just go through the procedure. Okay, first and foremost, as you can see, the tyres are bald. So what I've got to do is tip the bike upside down and remove both wheels as the tyres are knackered. So it's just a matter of removing the spindle through the centre of this wheel here. Let's undo this with the Allen key, and you can see someone's had a go at it. They've rounded off the cap on the end, but fortunately this side's okay. So I can unscrew this end, as you can see here. And once I've got it undone, take the cap off, you should be able to just slide the shaft out. As you can see, I'll turn the bike upside down and got a bit of dirt on my hands for the effort, but there you go. So let me show you here. I've managed to get a turn on this worn section of the axle, the front wheel, goes through the center. So I managed to undo it with a slightly larger Allen key. So what I've got to do is remove it completely, and then I'm going to take the good end from the other side and just use that to extract the shaft which goes through the axle, as you see there, in order to remove the wheel. There you go. I've got the shaft off, wheel comes free. I'll show you here. So first thing I'm going to do is let the air out of this tyre. This valve's got the valve core remover. Lets it down straight away. There's the valve core there. Got to put it back in. It's a valve core with a valve cap. Okay, so what I've got to do here is break the bead on the tyre. These tyres are not directional, they're just off-road. I'm just using a couple of spoons. Just try not to pinch the inner tube on the inside. Really just got to get these spoons, what I'm using as levers, in just far enough so I don't pinch the inner tube. Okay, I broke the one side of the bead down, as you can see there. So I should be able to just withdraw the inner tube once I've pulled it out of its housing. A little bit tricky, but let me just show you here. Okay, so that's the tube removed. And let me just get the other, break down the other side of the bead. I've got the tyre free there. And let me just show you here. I've got a brand new tyre. Top gear. And it's just reversed now. Just fitting the tyre over the one bead. The inner bead. A little bit tricky. A little bit tight. Got to use a bit of soap on it. Okay, so I managed to get the one bead on. So it's just a matter of fitting the inner tube in and lining up the valve with the hole. As you can see here, I'm just tucking the inner tube into the tyre, which is now on the rim. And you can see there, I'll fast forward certain sections of this just to make the video a bit shorter. And it's just a matter of tucking the valve in. As you see there, I've got the valve through the rim, put a little screw on, which it comes with. And it's just a matter of fitting the top bead over now. Use my knees and just get a bit of soap to assist. Just use a bit of fairy liquid. Helps the tyre to slip onto the rim easier. And I'll just paint that on. Just makes it easier to fit the tyre with the rim. Okay, you can see me just carefully fitting the tyre over with the levers, making sure I don't push the levers in too far, otherwise it will pinch the inner tube and puncture it. Okay, as you can see here, I've got the tyre fitted. It's just a matter of popping the valve core back in and inflating the tyre, which I have done. You can see me just inflating it. I'm going to put 30 in this, 30 psi. You can see me just blowing it up. Let me just show you here on the 0 at 28. It should stop at 30, as you see there. So I'll just bang that valve cap back on once I've removed the pump. And that's the tyre fully inflated. So it's going to pop that back on. That's for the front wheel. And it's just reversed before. Just going to pop this shaft through the centre and tighten the caps on each ends, and then the 4 Allen keys which hold the forks, hold the shafts against the forks. So you can just see me just screwing the good side of the cap back in the shaft, and I'll just use this slightly bigger on the other side because it's knackered, just so I can get a nice tight, good tightness on it. See there, it's nice and tight. So I'll just tighten up the other 4 screws. You can see me removing the back. Same again, it's just a shaft that goes to the middle, slightly different setup. You can see me just removing the shaft here. And this is going to remove the chain, and that's the brake cylinder. And I'm just going to fit this tyre also. Just going to let the air out and break the bead down, and I'll do this one lively. I'll just time lapse this one just to make the video shorter. You can see me just refit the tyre and the tube, and just fitting the outer tyre back over. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. So it's just a case of flipping the bike back up, as you can see here, as I've changed both tyres. Still got a few other bits and pieces to do, but you can see the bike's completely been used in off-road. It's dusty as hell, you see there, so I'm going to give all this a clean. I've removed the battery. I'm just going to give it a scrub and a clean. And now that I've got the soap on there, I'm just going to use a bit of assistance to clean the bike. Just jetting it. Get rid of all that mud. Get the bike nice and clean. The finishing touches there. Okay, I've got it nice and clean and dry now. Come back a couple of days later. You see here, it's nice and clean. I think the battery tray was all dusty before. So now my attention turns to the seat. There's supposed to be some clips underneath here, but they're missing. I've got to remove the seat, but first you've got to remove this bracket here. And then there's 4 bolts which hold the seat in place. You see the seat's ripped. So I'm just going to undo the 4 bolts here. And the seat comes off like so, revealing this module on the underside. Not sure what that's for, but it just unclips like so. And then what I'm going to do to show you this is the state of the seats ripped. The vinyl's ripped on it. So what I'm going to do now, just take it inside, and I'm just going to use this knife to remove the staples. You can see the staples there. Yeah, I'm going to use this knife to remove the staples, which go all the way around. There's one of the staples there. Let me just speed this section up because there's quite a few staples in there. So I'll just time lapse this. There you go, you see all the staples removed. So off comes the cover. That's just the foam, and that's the actual seat itself. Put it to one side. And this is the actual vinyl that's ripped. Okay, just clean the stereo up. And I've ordered some vinyl, a little small sheet for £7 off Amazon. And I'm just going to see if I can get a template off of this, the old units. the old vinyl that came off that was damaged. Just draw around slightly bigger than previous, and all I've got to do now is cut the shape out. And here's the seat. Just got to try and refit this new vinyl around the seat. I'm going to staple it together and stretch it, keep it nice and tight. Never done this before. I'm not an old upholsterer, but I'm going to have a go at it. So I'm going to start after watching a couple of videos on the internet, and you can see me just starting to staple the sides. And like I said, I've got to get a stretch on it so that the vinyl sits nice onto the sponge. I'll just put a couple more staples in on this side. Okay, let me just speed this section up, I think, because there's quite a few staples. Couldn't get most of it in a shot, but you pretty much get the picture. Okay, this is it complete. As far as I've got, I'm pretty chuffed with this. Not 100% with the edges. Difficult getting these creases out the edges, but I'm pretty satisfied with it anyway. So it's just a matter of fitting it back onto the bike. But then I've noticed the tail light's damaged, so I'm going to have a look at that. Okay, so it's just a matter of reconnecting this module, which I disconnected before. The module underneath the seat. I'm not sure what it's for. Let's pop the seat over like so. And if you remember, the underside plastic, all the clips are missing. So I'm going to use these zip ties to see if I can get it to hold in place. Just feed it through here. And it should cover two of the holes, which should keep it in place. Like so. Just a matter of snipping the ends off. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So next thing, the brakes are a bit spongy, so I'm just bleeding the brakes here. So I'll just screw this syringe into the bleed valve, and if you see all the bubbles coming out when I'm pressing the trigger, that just shows there's air inside the system. And I'm going to do that until it stops, and I've done both sides. It's just a matter of putting the reservoir cap back on for the brakes to topping up the mineral oil. Just clean up the area here. Okay, there's a few scratches on the framework. I'm just going to use a bit of matte black to cover the scratches, just to make it look a little bit tidier. Then just cover this Sur-Ron label. Yeah, this is where the kickstand's constantly coming up and rubbing against the frame. See, it's worn out the paint as well as the aluminium. Just get a lick of paint and just take this tape off. Sur-Ron sticker's a bit worn, but wait, hey. And I'll just do a little bit more cosmetics around where the scratches are around the frame of the bike. Just cover up certain sections because I don't want them to get paint on them. Okay, that's pretty much done now. This is what it looks like now. You see here, frame looks nice, seats covered, tyres are good, the bike's nice and clean, brakes work, horn works. Just got to sort out the headlight. It does work, but it needs a switch. So with that, thanks for watching once again, and please subscribe.